Alright, let's do this. Buckle up. Have you ever caught yourself doing something really weird and thought, wait, why did I do that? Like talking to yourself in the mirror, or replaying an argument from 3 years ago while shampooing your hair, or suddenly feeling offended by a tone that technically didn't even exist? Yeah. Same. Here's the wild truth most people don't realize. Your everyday habits, tiny reactions, and random thoughts are quietly revealing who you really are, way more honestly than your bio, your resume, or your Instagram captions ever could. Today, I'm going to walk you through psychological facts that don't just explain human behavior, they expose you. Some of these will make you laugh. Some might make you uncomfortable. And at least one will make you stop and think, okay, that was a little too accurate. Let's start with something simple. If you overthink small conversations, like replaying a hi that sounded slightly awkward, or wondering if your emoji came off as too excited, psychology says you're not weak or insecure. You're highly self-aware. Your brain constantly scans social situations to avoid mistakes. The downside? You torture yourself with replay mode. The upside? You're usually thoughtful, emotionally intelligent, and way more considerate than you realize. Basically, your brain is running Google Analytics on every interaction, while other people are just wibbing. Now, here's a fun one. If you procrastinate even when you know something is important, it's usually not laziness. It's emotional avoidance. Your brain isn't avoiding the task, it's avoiding how the task makes you feel. Bored, overwhelmed, afraid of failing, afraid of doing it perfectly. So instead, you suddenly feel a strong urge to clean your room, scroll reels, or research a topic you absolutely do not need to research right now. Congratulations! You are emotionally complex and slightly dramatic. But in a lovable way. Next. If you feel drained after being around people, even people you like, psychology says you're not antisocial. You're internally focused. Your brain does a lot of processing. Emotions, details, meanings, vibes, everything. Social interaction costs energy because you're absorbing more than you show. That's why alone time doesn't feel lonely to you. It feels like charging your phone after it's been at 3% all day. Now let's talk about humor. If you use humor during serious moments, especially dark or sarcastic humor, that's not you being insensitive. That's your brain using humor as a coping mechanism. Your mind learned that laughing makes heavy emotions easier to carry. You joke not because you don't care, but because you care too much. And yes, sometimes this means you crack a joke at the worst possible moment and immediately regret it. Character development. Here's one that hits hard. If you're extremely patient with others but brutally hard on yourself, psychology says you learned early on to be understanding, because no one was very understanding with you. You forgive everyone. You explain everyone's behavior. You give second chances like free samples. But when it comes to yourself, one mistake, and suddenly it's a full TED talk on why you're a failure. That doesn't mean you're broken. It means you develop strength before you develop softness toward yourself. Now, quick question. Do you feel uncomfortable when someone compliments you? Like they say you did great, and your brain instantly replies, no, it was nothing, or anyone could have done it, or I just got lucky. Psychology says this usually means you tie your self-worth to performance, not existence. You feel valuable when you achieve, not just when you are. So compliments feel suspicious. Like, wait, I didn't earn this enough. Deep down you're still learning that you don't have to prove your worth every single day. Okay, let's get a little sneaky. If you're curious about people, like you love observing behaviors, reading between the lines, noticing patterns, that's not being nosy. That's high cognitive empathy. You're naturally good at understanding how people think and feel, even when they don't say it out loud. Which is great, until you overanalyze silence and convince yourself something is wrong when it's actually not. Script. Your brain is basically a detective that forgot how to take a day off. Now let's talk about anger. If you rarely get anger, but when you do, it's intense and quiet. Psychology says you suppress emotions until your brain decides, alright, that's enough. You don't explode often, but when you do, it's usually after being patient for too long. You don't enjoy conflict. You avoid it. But once a boundary is crossed too many times, your calm disappears without warning. People say, I didn't know you felt that way. And you're thinking, I felt this way for months. Classic. Here's another revealing one. If you're drawn to deep conversations late at night about life, purpose, fears, the universe, your brain is most active when external noise is gone. Nighttime feels safer because expectations disappear. No pretending, no rushing, just thoughts being honest. This usually means you're introspective, creative, and emotionally deep, and terrible at sleeping on time. Now let's expose your habits. If you keep mental lists instead of writing things down, your brain likes control. You trust yourself to remember. You like feeling capable. But this also means your mind is always a little tired, because it refuses to drop the load. Sometimes, writing things down isn't weakness. It's delegation. Another one. If you feel oddly motivated right after a setback, like failure flips a switch in you, psychology says you use challenges as identity fuel. You don't just want to succeed. You want to prove something. To yourself, to others, to a past version of you that once doubted everything. Pain doesn't stop you. It sharpens you. But be careful. You don't need to suffer to deserve success. Let's talk about empathy again. If you notice mood shifts instantly, like someone walks in and you feel the energy change, you're emotionally sensitive, not weak. Sensitive. Your nervous system is tuned high. You read emotional signals faster than words. The downside? Crowded places exhaust you. Other people's stress becomes your stress. The upside? You're usually the person others feel safe around, even if you don't always feel safe yourself. Now this one is sneaky. If you delay good things in your life, like happiness, rest, celebration. I'll relax after I finish this. I'll be happy once I achieve that. I'll enjoy life later. Psychology says your brain believes happiness must be earned. You've trained yourself to chase the next milestone, instead of enjoying the present moment. You're not lazy. You're disciplined. But discipline without joy eventually becomes exhaustion. Here's something funny but true. If you talk to yourself a lot out loud or in your head, that's not weird. It's a sign of high self-regulation. You process thoughts better by externalizing them. You coach yourself. You argue with yourself. You motivate yourself. Basically, you're your own podcast. Now let's get honest. If you feel nostalgic easily, songs, smells, old places, psychology says you have a strong emotional memory. You don't just remember events. You remember how they felt. That makes you sentimental and deeply human, and also dangerously attached to the past sometimes. You don't miss moments. You miss versions of yourself. One more. If you're calm during chaos but anxious during calm moments, your brain is used to survival mode. When things are loud and urgent, you function. When things are quiet, your mind looks for problems. Peace feels unfamiliar, so your brain tries to fill the silence. Learning to rest without guilt is a skill you're still mastering. Now here's the big one. If you're watching this video and thinking, why does this feel so personal? It's because psychology doesn't reveal who you pretend to be. It reveals who you are when no one is watching. Your habits, your reactions, your thoughts at night, your silence, they all tell a story. And that story isn't about being perfect. It's about being aware. Because once you understand why you do what you do, you stop fighting yourself and start working with yourself. So next time you catch yourself overthinking, procrastinating, feeling deeply, or needing space, don't judge it immediately. Ask instead, what is this revealing about me? You might be surprised how much sense you suddenly make. And if this video felt like a mirror you didn't ask for, don't worry. That just means you're paying attention. And that already says a lot about who you really are.